What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone for a new daily news show where it's full steam ahead for Koopmeiners. Not Calafiori, but Koopmeiners is the main priority, is the target for the club, is the target. The club is very open or willing to spend the bulk on the money to the disappointment, probably a lot of fans, especially after yesterday where the Calafiori news kind of broke and confirmed that it's no chance for us because Juve are not willing to pay 50 million euros, but they're willing to pay close to 50 million euros for Koopmeiners apparently. So it's all kicking off. There is an update on Chiesa, a very strange update, and also a very weird one on Rugani, which involved the entire backline and the big question marks surrounding the backline right now. But before we get into it, as always, smash the like button, hit the like button. Damn it, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, just go. Okay, so after that disaster intro, let's talk about a potential disaster move or a disaster move or that a move that people deem to become a disaster, and that's not willing to spend 50 million euros on Calafiori, but spending that money on Koopmeiners. That's basically the story. You know, the news is that Thiago Motta and Giuntoli agreed that if we have 50 million euros or we have an amount of money to spend, we should be spending that on Koopmeiners rather than Calafiori, which is big because he coached Calafiori, he made him in what he is today, and still the decision was like, okay, let's spend that money on Koopmeiners. So it's a very interesting point, to say the least. But Koopmeiners is now the main topic of discussion. Everybody is saying that now the club will start talking with Koopmeiners. Nico Shira saying that you have been okay. So he said a two-parter. He first talked about the Calafiori. He said for 10 days the club never did anything with Calafiori. After Croatia, Italy, Bologna raised the asking price to 50 million euros, which is ridiculous because, yeah, just to explain, it's ridiculous, but causing Juve to slow down. For Giuntoli and Motta, such a significant investment, Calafiori 50 million euros, is better to spend elsewhere on Koopmeiners, who is their top choice. The agreement with the player is in place. Atalanta are open to sell because they promised Koopmeiners he can have that move. He wants to join Juve. That's what it is. Again, now it is more of what are we going to offer Atalanta, because I don't think we're going to spend 50 million euro on Koopmeiners. I saw initial reports that they want 60 million for Koopmeiners. They're not getting 60 million. And I don't think we're going to spend 50 million on Koopmeiners, nor should we, because I like Koopmeiners a lot. As I said so many times, I don't think he's a 50 million euro player. I don't think he is a player who has something special or something that sets himself apart from a bulk of players like Calafiori potentially has shown so far this season. But I believe he will be a key player for Motta. I believe that he is a player we need to get in. I know we got Douglas Luiz and Thuram. Thuram especially a different type of player. Douglas Luiz also, in my opinion, a different type of player because Koopmeiners is better on the ball, and also defensively, I think I like him more than Douglas Luiz. Douglas Luiz was more of an opportunity. But if Motta tells Giuntoli Koopmeiners is a must-have for me, then you need to try to back him. You know, you need to try to back him. Obviously, it does not need to get ridiculous. I can see the outrage with Calafiori, and people are like, oh, you're not willing to spend that on Calafiori, but you're willing to do that on Koopmeiners. I'm a bit confused why that's it, a little bit as well, because if you watch Thiago Motta play last season, a player like Calafiori is key to the way he plays, especially at the back. And we don't have a player like that. You might think Huijsen will become that player. He's not right now. Calafiori was not that player a year ago, but it's different to do that at Bologna than at Juve when expectations are a bit higher. Can you really experiment and hope Huijsen really develops big time? Because Calafiori had experience. He wasn't this level of player, but he still had experience, you know. Huijsen, not really. If you watch him at Roma last season, he showed a lot of good things, but also he showed a lot of worrying things in terms of not worrying that you cannot improve on them because he's so young, but worrying in terms of if you make those mistakes at Juve, then it's gonna cost the team. You know, it's gonna cost what you're trying to build. So that's now the big question mark. Yes, you can go for Koopmeiners, but how are you going to fix that solution with Calafiori, who you miss out now? What are you going to do at the back? And I will talk about that in a sec. But the next story I want to talk about is Chiesa, because Nico Schira is saying that he's Daniele De Rossi's main target for the summer, and Roma are ready to open talks to Juve to try to sign a winger. And actually, reports also suggest that Chiesa is open to join Motta. Roma. Very confusing news, because I don't get the move. It's taking a step down, for him, for his career. It's a very strange move for him to do. Now, if he doesn't have any offers, I don't know. Roma are getting rid of a lot of big wages, so maybe they have the funds to get Chiesa the money. I think the club made it clear to Chiesa that they are not 100% convinced in his post-injury showing, basically, and they don't want to commit, even if it's for 6.5 million, because I don't think he's demanding 8 million euros or whatever. I don't think Chiesa is demanding that. I think it's more so the club potentially offering the same wage or even less than what he's on right now. I don't think the club in talks convinced the player and his agent that they really believe in Chiesa for the future. I think that's the issue. I think the Chiesa wants to stay, but I think the club is like, okay, we're okay with you staying, but it's not the main priority. This is it, and if not, then we'll probably move you on. The worrying thing are two. The links are not solid enough to stay calm and be like, yeah, we're going to replace Chiesa. You can replace Chiesa, I said it many times, but we've not been really linked with replacements. That's one. And two, if you're selling to Roma, you're not getting a lot of money, and that's kind of an issue. Are you getting a lot of money regardless for a player like Chiesa in his form right now? I'm not so sure, but you're not going to get money from Roma. Definitely not enough or like a lot of money. So that's maybe an issue in itself, that we're not getting the money we're hoping for. So it's something to keep an eye on. I think Chiesa is gone, but yeah, it's the first week of July, so we just need to wait and see right now, and see what's gonna happen with Chiesa. Now, the surprising news is the Rugani one. Signed a new deal, and now he's open to joining the Saudi League. Ajax are interested, but they want the club to pay part of the wage, and that's a no for Juve. Genoa are also interested, and Pedula said Rugani is very open to move. If the Saudi bid is what it is, a very big one, then he's open to move, which is a weird dynamic. We signed him a new deal, lower this wage. I thought that's noble from him, but if somebody offers you 5 times that, then yeah, you need to think about that for 2 more years. He was a good backup, and that's a bit of a worry, because you lose him, you lose on your potential target, Calafiori, and now the question mark starts to rise. What are you going to do to improve that back line? Because, excuse me, it needs to improve, and you have potential dangers with Bremer's contract, with Danilo's age and contract, that you need to look at. Huijsen was tipped to be on the move, and now it's like, okay, what is going to happen with Huijsen? Is he going to be your quote-unquote Calafiori, or is he going to be integrated in the first team? Because if you're going to lose Rugani, you need players regardless. So it's a very weird dynamic. And then Di Marzio said that Facundo Gonzalez could be joining Udinese on loan with an option to buy. I don't think he was ever going to play for the club, but still, some viewed him as a potential option to be in the squad. Here he is, potentially joining Udinese on loan with an option. So that backline, if it's not being fixed this season, then next season, a lot of funds will be directed to that. But you are in a dangerous position if you move on Huijsen and Bremer's release clause and Danilo's age. You need to be very careful. I agree that midfield needed to be stripped down from top to bottom for years, and the club is doing that now, and that's good, but you also need to keep an eye on that back line. The front line will sort itself out if you sell Milik. I think the media is a bit behind with the links, but that back line, it's a danger position. You need to figure that one out. So it's going to be very interesting to see what the club is going to do. But for now, Calafiori off, no deal, and Koopmeiners all in, talks starting really soon. So let's see how that will go. Today also, or actually the schedule has been released, to be honest, but this is pre-recorded. I will do a live show to talk about that schedule. We can have a tough start to the season. That means you definitely need to get Thiago Motta, the players in, or you can have a more eased in start to the season. So let's see, but we will talk about that later tonight. So stay tuned for that. Ciao.